Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's old Pappy back with another one. Thanks for tuning in. And we're going to be looking at, in this video, what's coming up this weekend on the test server. Some exciting news. One of the first things right off the bat is that we're going to be retesting this new Hawk. I'm really keen to see what kind of improvements the robot's going to get because they're billing it already as a Titan killer. Let's see what happens. And also on this weekend, you can see it on the screen there, but the thing that is most interesting to me is this big rebalance of these weapons that were introduced to the game a couple weeks ago now or so. The Nucleon, the Quarker, and the Atomizer. Now these new weapons have a really cool gimmick, which is that they have endless ammo. Sounds perfect, doesn't it, right? Well, there's always a catch. And so the catch with these weapons is that the longer that you hold down that button, the longer you mash the fire button, the more and more wild they get in terms of shooting. Eventually, they start to spray so bad that it's literally like you could stand 10 feet in front of a guy and he probably would only hit you 3 times out of 100 with these bullets. I find especially the Nucleon gets really bad. That's the heavy version. Gets really bad at anywhere more than like 150 meters, 100 meter range after only a couple seconds. So what are we going to do with this video? Well, I actually own some of these weapons. I haven't maxed them all. I have a couple Nucleons that are close to maxed, MK2. I have the Atomizers are level 11 and level 10, and I have a couple Quarkers that are MK2. And I'm going to go out and we're going to take a quick little game here. If you got time, stick around. I appreciate it. It's only about 6 minutes long, and I'm going to show you just some of the things that are a real issue with these weapons, real problem with them. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance for the gameplay. I'm not going to try to play really cautiously or super smart because I want to make sure I can get all of my weapons and my robots into the game before the game's over. So anyway, that little asterisk out of the way. Let's get started. So we have 4 Atomizers on this leech. Now, things you need to know. Well, it has 500 meter range, these weapons, and okay, well, there's one guy who's scared of Atomizers, I guess, but not too many other people should be, to be honest, because they're not that strong. You know, they're not that strong. Now, these are level 11 and level 10, but I find that they are wildly inaccurate after even 2 or 3 seconds of use. You can see that dial where my shooting, I already lost a weapon, there you go. You can see on my dial where it starts to turn yellow, then orange, and then bright stinking red, and all this steam is coming off my weapons. As soon as that happens, you know, unless you're like 50 meters away from your enemy, you're going to miss probably 90% of your bullets. So the number that you see in terms of damage per bullet, if you want to call it a bullet, is nowhere near accurate compared to the real world action that you're going to see if you take these out on the battlefield. So another issue that's with these things, now check this guy out here. Like this guy's an Inquisitor. I'm a maxed MK2 leech. I should be able to beat him. Look at him hitting me with the scourges. And he takes me down. So that's the other issue with these things right now. So they don't have the accuracy at range beyond more than a couple seconds of use, number 1. But number 2, they don't have the stopping power. They don't have the instant kill power that warrants using them at close range, right? And so here's going to be an interesting thing. So I have 2 Rime and I have 2 Quarkers on my blitz here. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to use the Rimes to increase, that gives a damage boost once you freeze your enemies. And then it's going to really make these Quarkers really super deadly. But look at this. I'm shooting this guy. I'm shooting this guy. I mean, he's phasing. I get it. He's phasing in and out and in and out. And I finally get him. But that was a long, sort of drawn-out 2-on-1 battle. Right? Like 2-on-1, it took 2 of us to bring him down. And I kept thinking the whole time I was fighting that fight, what would have happened if I just had to rush the guy and used all Rimes and had catastrophic burst damage? It also would have froze him in place, so he couldn't just run around me and run around in circles like merry-go-round here. Would he have died faster? Is that a better brawling option? Right? Oh, there's a little guy. Hey, how's it going? Okay, I'm going to give this guy a little shoot and a bing and a bong. Okay, so he's going to die. Boom. But here's the thing. So, if these weapons, these Atomizers, Nucleons, and Quarkers aren't great at 500 meters, they're only accurate for a few seconds, and you're outranged by at least 100 meters by Scourge, that also locks on so you don't miss a single shot, and you can brawl with it. I'm trying to figure out what is the, where does this Nucleon Quarker stuff, where does it fit? Okay, so Scourge is probably better long range. You outrange it. You can lock onto your opponent. They can't get away. Okay, so then you get up close. Well, now you're in a knife fight, man. Like, I've never been in a knife fight. I don't want to get in a knife fight. But if I ever did, I don't want to make it a 15-minute knife fight where we're all dancing around like something from West Side Story and we're just sitting there taking turns swinging at each other. You want it to be over. There's a guy in our clan called One Punch. Well, he's called One Punch because, as opposed to 75 punches, because you want to punch a guy once and have the fight be over, right? Nobody wants to sit there because all that's going to happen is that you're going to take tons of damage, and you're probably going to be the one that loses. And so this weapon does not have one punch capability. It just doesn't. And it's funny because if you remember, the reason why they brought these in, they brought them in after they nerfed the shotguns. And why did they nerf the shotguns? Because Pixonic was hoping that this would become the new shotguns, right? Everybody, the meta was shotguns. Everybody, whether it was Coronas or Storms, everybody used shotguns, right? Why? Because you could just run right up to a guy and within 5 seconds you'd kill them all and they'd all be dead. And they had super fast reload. A couple seconds later, bing, 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 you're shooting all the guys again. So they nerfed the heck out of the shotguns, both families, and they brought in these things. But the problem is that they're not shotgun replacements. They're not Scourge replacements. They don't have the killing power, the catastrophic killing power of the Cryo family. Plus, they don't have the cool abilities of the Cryo family, which enhances damage and freezes your enemies. How is that for a lot of abilities in one single weapon, eh? You can shoot somebody, freeze them, and get a damage multiplier just by using the same weapon. Well, of course. So what's going to happen this weekend, getting back to the test server? I haven't seen the stats, but my prediction is we're going to see either improvements in accuracy or increased damage or a sort of a reduction in the speed at which the weapons overheat, if that makes sense, right? Because if the weapons overheat after only 3 seconds use, and then suddenly you can't hit the bright side of a barn, then maybe if it takes an extra couple seconds to overheat, then you actually to hit your opponent, you're able to hit them longer and therefore do more damage. Anyway, those are my predictions. I'd love to hear from you. Log on to the test server. I'm going to try to put some links in the description below so you can test it for yourself. I'm looking forward to it. I'll try to get a video done by Sunday at latest with actual gameplay showing you what the actual improvements were. And until next time, as always, thanks for the subscribes, thanks for the likes and the shares, and until next time, I'll see you on the battlefield.